Alright, y'all, let me show y'all what's going on. So, it really ain't a whole lot. Same old, same old. My tomato is slowly giving up the ghost. When the rest of these tomatoes turn, which they starting to, y'all can see that one in there. It's orange. That's probably good enough, to be honest. I'm gonna pull that plant and plant something else in there. I see some garlic that came up. Uh, y'all see my little kohlrabi getting a little bigger, getting a little bigger. I think they finally got established. Those getting a little bigger too. Radishes. Up here, I planted a extra dwarf pak choy. I need to water that in. I forgot to water that in when I watered the other stuff in. Sugar snap peas, garlic, beets. Nothing to see there. Same there. Same there. Sugar snaps there. I put some radishes into there, and I put a little bit more compost in there. Same thing over here. I had some celery butts and a couple other things. Experiment with some carrot tops. The end you cut off the carrot. But I'm gonna experiment. It's an experiment. I'll explain that later. And sugar snap peas. But what I really came out here to do was, so I got all these radish tops. And Lord, she gonna run her own cats over. Anyway, I see what he talking about. No, they got a fire going in that fireplace. Oh Lord, I don't think that fireplace was meant to have fires in it. But it's smoking. Y'all have to excuse me. It's a house up there that somebody told me that fireplace. It need to be. It ain't right. They probably in there smoking. Got smoke all in the house. But anyway, these radishes got so many leaves. Lord, the cats is hollering. Oh, they hollering. Yeah, because they hungry, baby. You have to feed the cats. You know, some people don't have good sense. See, this is what happens when I come outside and my neighbors and stuff is out here. See, when I'm out here by myself, I don't have to contend with this. But back to what I was telling y'all. It's so many tops on these radishes that I said I was going to cut some of the bigger ones off. I could show me cutting them instead of it being all off camera. And I was going to cook with them. But I said I was going to try doing like cut and come again and see how they go. So I'm not going to cut all the tops. And plus, this will help because the tops is so many. It's shading. Oh, Lord, now she calling her mama. Anyway, it's shading out the carrots a little bit. So, found a recipe for radish top pesto. And I said to myself, that sounds interesting. Why don't I give that a whirl? So that's what I'm doing. So I'm just kind of selectively harvesting leaves. Now radishes, the leaves grow from the center just like any other brassica. So I'm being careful not to cut out the center. I'm cutting the bigger, more mature leaves that are obviously on the outside because they're bigger. And like I said, this'll, shoot, I said it was gonna help with the carrots. I don't know. It still look as thick. It look just as thick to me. How about y'all? You know, you have good intentions, I guess. Let's see, you kind of big. So are you. All right, let me, y'all see what I'm doing. Let me come back and I'll show y'all what I done harvested. All right, y'all, this is what the radishes look like after I have thinned them. So you see they still look quite lush. But it's all good. Actually, I'll take a few more leaves. All right, so that's what they look like then. So, all right, y'all. Now Kenny's bothering me. Kenny, you're in the way. All right, y'all. That's my harvest. So I don't know how much that is. But that's my hand next to the pile, and the pile is pretty tall. It's kind of dense. I think half of it I'm gonna use for pesto, and maybe the other half I will saute up and eat it alongside something. So that's my harvest on that. Let me show y'all. I made a little headway on my expansion project. So for those of y'all that don't know, I'm putting a bed over here, and this is going to be pretty much where I have things that like to vine, because I have the space to let it do it. Grass really don't grow over here. Weeds grow over here, and I'm sick of it, so I might as well just plant on top of it and kill the weeds. So I had a lot of wood from the back that that was, pretty much broke down. You can still see some bigger pieces, but for the most part, it's soil for the most part. So I'm going to put cinder blocks around the edge, and in the holes of the cinder blocks, I intend to plant in them, things like things that don't need a lot of root space, like chives, herbs, garlic, borage, stuff like that, maybe marigolds. But I intend to put a cinder block edge all the way around, and I'm going to start with one layer of cinder blocks. I don't know if eventually I'll go to 2 layers and fill it up and make it that deep. The soil over here is exceedingly hard, and I do not grow directly in my native soil. If the roots go down into the native soil, it's fine, but I'm not going to dig it, and I'll show you why. Can y'all see them roots that girdled that tree? All right, let me put my hand up here so y'all can see how big that is. So those roots, they go all through this yard, and I have roots that are anywhere from 4 to 5 inches thick. And it's not like, oh yeah, you can cut through them or dig around them or there. No, this yard is full of roots everywhere. Like, you cannot dig a square foot and not run into roots. So that's why I don't grow my native soil. So that's why I choose to grow on top of it. Now maybe over time the soil up under there will soften up or whatever. I don't know. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not a big deal to me. My strawberries are still doing fine. They actually put out a flower. And strawberries flowering this time of year. My sweet potatoes, I think I showed that where I kind of looked. No, I didn't. I didn't show it. I did look under there. There was no sweet potatoes. I'm not surprised. I planted them too late and didn't give them enough time. There's Chrissy. Chrissy, look up here. Yeah, hey, baby. Up to no good. Y'all know Felix. I guess I'll walk around here and show y'all what's going on. It went down to 32 degrees last night, but ain't really nothing. Orange tree and avocado are still in the greenhouse, still doing fine. Nothing really to report there. Peach tree still hasn't lost its leaves. Don't understand that. I have quite a few kumquats, and I've been eating on them a little bit here and there. The blackberries still have leaves on them. I don't know why, and I don't care because I'm just going to let them do what they do. The blueberry still has a little bit of leaves, but they're coming off. Um, if you have a short season, I assume you should worry about those things. But as y'all can see, my season is exceedingly long. So I don't generally worry about things like that. Honestly, sometimes I want my stuff to actually put on blooms a little later. For instance, the blueberry, the pear, the peach, all of them, the apple, when they start to bloom, they bloom so early in the season. I mean, that's like the first thing you see is peach tree blossoms, pear tree, the little flowers, the blossoms on the apple tree. It's the first thing you see and smell. A lot of times, straight out of winter, my citrus will do that as well. But my citrus will bloom over and over. Whereas these peaches, pears, I'm telling you, if you got fruit on them, and like when I say bloom early, they will start blooming in January, February. And then we'll fool around and have a frost in March. And if your blooms freeze, that's where your fruit comes from. It's from the blooms. The bloom gets pollinated and then it turns into fruit. If those blooms freeze and it kills them, you will have no fruit that year because these trees will not fruit. They will not bloom again. They're not like your citrus. Your citrus will bloom. For me, citrus blooms 4 or 5 times a year, reliably. So for instance, if these had blooms on it and kill the blooms, well, they're going to turn around and bloom again in another month or sometimes a couple of weeks. So it's not a problem. For these, it's a problem. So actually, when I see all these leaves and stuff on here, and I got one peach tree, ain't got no leaves on it. I know that one gonna be real quick to bloom. But see, actually, when they got leaves on here like this and they're not fully dormant, I'm thinking they will go into dormancy later and will come out of dormancy later. So maybe they'll come out of dormancy and bloom in March or April, when I'm almost positive I won't have a freeze. And I won't have to worry about my fruit. Figs a little bit different. They don't produce flowers. They just go ahead and produce fruit. So a little bit different for them. So that's just a little info for anybody. I know people were talking about dormancy and should you be worried about it. But I don't, because my season is long and I'm kind of a natural kind of gardener. I believe in the garden just doing what it wants to do versus me doing all this forcing. I think people do. Chris is running after something. Oh, that other cat is in the yard. So Chris is going to run him off. Let's see if we can catch this on film. Let's see. Can y'all see that? Wait a minute. Let's zoom in. You see that cat in the middle? That one doesn't belong to me. Now, do you guys see Chrissy? Yeah, I'm sure he's kind of in the shadows, but he's creeping up on the other cat. So let's see if we can catch this. So, Chris doesn't like other cats in his territory. So you see how he's walking up with his head very low, his tail very, very still, kind of in a stalking manner. And the other cat is just sitting there. Now the other cat is about twice Chris' size. He's a fairly big cat. And my neighbor's chickens are making the strangest noises. See if I can get a little bit closer. Let's see what Chris is going to do. Oh, come on, Chris. This is anticlimactic if you're just going to sit there. You're going to sit there and growl at him? Okay, guys. I thought this was going to be interesting. He usually runs over and runs the cat out of the yard. But, whatever. Anyway, till next time. Cat fights and everything else aside. See you guys later.